Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are at what I've been talking about. So we bought the winery. I'm here now, and it's MillaNova Winery is the name of it. It's in Mount Washington, Kentucky. It's been around about 14 years. I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to purchase it from the original owners, John and Donna, and they've ran this place successfully for several years. So I used to come here when I was younger, and they had live bands and all kinds of stuff. And man, it was a really good time. As you can see behind me, the view is beautiful, and it's got a venue space for weddings or events. It's got a tasting room. They make the wine here. I guess we now make the wine here. And I thought it was important to shoot from here. So, like we've been talking about, being afraid or being led by fear, this is scary. It's a scary venture to get into. As most of you know, I own an installation business as my primary business. I grew up in the trades. Not even a big wine drinker, but I've always said for a few years now, man, if this place ever came up for sale, I'd love to own it. It has so much potential, and there's so much here. And lo and behold, it popped up for sale, and we were fortunate enough to be able to get it. So we did it. I felt like it was something that I wanted to do. Me and Shelby talked, and it's something that our entire family can be a part of. Our kids can be a part of. They can kind of grow up and work here. It's hard for them. Obviously, they can't go out and install appliances or talk to customers on the phone at the age they are today. But here we can teach them work ethic. We can let them help us set up for events, break down, clean up, wipe tables, and interact with people. So it was super important for us to take advantage of the opportunity that was in front of us. I talked about it and I talked about it, and I had a friend of mine named Marla that called me and said, "Hey, guess what? The winery you keep talking about is for sale." So the part of me was like, "Crap," and the other part of me was excited, and I knew that the the excited part was going to win. So here we are. We closed on it last Monday, a week ago today. I was going to stay shut down. I was going to say, "Hey, let's come in." There were some employees that were working here, and I said, I want to buy it on Monday, close. They're already closed on Monday and Tuesday, but they already had events planned. I think there's 30 events planned throughout this year. And I was like, okay, if I stay closed until that Saturday event, that'll give me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get my bearings and try to make sure everything's good. And came in, met with the existing employees, and they said, well, we don't really need to stay closed. We can stay open if you want. And they're smarter than I am. They've been here longer. So I said, look, if you're good with it and you're okay with me coming in and not knowing what I'm doing, but being here as a support, like, let's open. So we did. We closed last Monday. We opened for business officially as the new owners on Wednesday of last week at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 to 6. And again, it's scary. I don't know how to make wine. I'm not a big wine drinker. I'm more of a bourbon guy, but I'm very quickly becoming a wine guy. And Wednesday, show up. Beth was here, and she's showing me the ropes. I'm asking her questions. She's asking me questions. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. We're trying to get a feel for each other, and it's dead. There's no one coming in. I was like, oh man. So we stuck it out. We're cleaning and going through and deciding on the things that we want to change or do things differently. And again, just kind of getting to know each other. It was actually kind of nice that there wasn't a whole lot going on because it allowed us to connect more. And close up that night and ran the report. $20 went through the register for a 6-hour day. And I thought, oh boy, like, this isn't good. But you know what? It's new. It's scary. It is what it is. We're gonna keep pushing. So came back in the next day on Thursday, and still pretty slow. Keeps being more slow, and I'm like, oh man, what have we done here? No sales other than some venue bookings, I think, that was calling in. Not 100% if they've booked yet, but they, a lot of people were calling in just questioning on different dates and whatnot. And ran the report, and there's $0 going through the register. I was like, oh, you know what? We're just going to keep hitting it. I think I worked here, I don't know, probably 15 hours the first 3 days. My kids were here, my friends were here, my coworkers from the other business were here. Everybody's pitching in, helping. We're kind of getting rid of the things that didn't need to be here anymore, and just going through and trying to figure it out. So Friday shows up, and we're doing macaroons and wine tasting, and we're going to celebrate Mother's Day throughout the weekend with it. So I put a social media post together and I blasted out, and I've got a lot of people that support me and a lot of people that was already supporting this winery on their Facebook page. So it started getting shared and the comments come in, and Friday we show up and it starts getting busy and more busy, and Beth's here with another lady named Ruth that works a couple days a week for us, and it just started filling up. We had a really good turnout. We had a good day, and Ruth looked at me and she said, "It's been a while since I've had a Friday this good." And I was like, that is really reassuring to hear. So we went home. We got the spring festival going on up in town. So Saturday, had a parade. My daughters are in. Full transparency, I missed it. I didn't. I was exhausted, and my wife got up. She's a trooper. She got, she's in the parade with them. Got them on the floats. Went through, did the parade, and then I ran up here. Had to bring ice up here, and then turned around and drove back to the festival and hung out with them for a few hours, and then came back up here and just kind of dropped in and out a little bit throughout the day. It's cool because they don't need me here because they've been doing this for so long. They've been around for 10 plus years. But I bring a whole lot of new ideas and different things that I want to get into, and I have to understand how it runs first. I'm not coming in here and changing things. I'm not changing hours. I didn't change prices. I didn't change the process. I need to fully understand it before we try to shift things or to improve them. So Saturday was okay, nothing fantastic. So I went back home and started sharing the macaroons and wine again, and Sunday we go to church, left church, came here, and Beth said there was people at the gate at 11:40 this morning. We weren't even open yet, and I was like, that's a good problem to have. And throughout the day, it just kept getting busier. We had an event out here on the pavilion for a gender reveal, and they're having a little girl, their first kid, so it was very cool to be a part of that. I've had friends and family and my own gender reveal, but never a part of someone that I don't know. So it was cool interacting with them and talking to the soon-to-be dad, and he was excited, wearing blue as we all do, and he came back in and I said, what is it? And he said, it's a girl. And I said, there's nothing like a daddy's girl. It's gonna change your life. And he was excited. So I got to work here. I mean, really work here. I was washing wine glasses and little flights and cleaning up and stocking fridges and just really getting at it. And it's been a while since I've had to do physical labor in that manner on a timeline that wasn't my own. So it felt really, really good. And we got done, and Jody and Beth said, "Man, that was a good Sunday. It's been a while since we had a Sunday that good." And I thought, man, we haven't even gotten started. We don't even know what we're doing yet. And we've already had 2 days that have been better than quite a while ago. And how fortunate am I to be able to come in here within the first 3 or 4 days and have that kind of a result come in, and then have the employees be able to say that to me. It was very reassuring, and it engaged me even more. I went home and me and my wife talked, and I was like, there's so much potential here. It sits on 42 acres. It is a beautiful piece of land. We've got a big pavilion outside that seats 300 people. We've got an indoor space that seats 250 people. There's a tasting room. We've got like 6 bathrooms, a bridal suite. There's the production room where you actually make wine that we're working on, kind of going through and cleaning it up. And we're going to spruce the place up because I want it to be part of the venue space. It's a beautiful room. There's these big, giant stainless steel tanks. We're going to shoot an episode from there here in the next week or two. And just so much potential. And I think back and I'm like, man, how lucky am I that, through relationships and talking to people. Marla does a lot of catering for me, and she knows that I was on the hunt because I really wanted to be in the venue space. And, the owners weren't broadcasting it widely. They weren't in like this huge hurry to sell. They wanted to be the right fit. So, we came in and I've never met them before. I'd been here, but never officially actually met them. And very good people, very, very passionate. This was their place. They built it from the ground up. So for them to trust me and to sign a contract for me to be able to purchase this was very, very cool. Again, I look at myself with a lot of the imposter syndrome and are they going to like me? Are they going to think that I'm worthy enough to be able to come behind them? And when we got done closing and, John came back and we were talking, and I said, I'm gonna do right by you with this place. I'm gonna do it justice. And he shook my hand and he said, I know you will. And that was exciting. I'm really, really excited about the possibilities that can happen here. I'm excited about what it is today. I'm really excited about what it's going to be tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and to be able to pour into a different set of employees than I'm used to, and be able to gain things from them as well into a sector that I'm not used to. But there's fear around it. What if it doesn't work? What if I don't get the wine made in time the next time we need a run done? What if I can't understand it or I can't do it? And those cross my mind, but I just reassure myself that I've got an army. I've got an army of people that will support me. And at the worst, I just have to find someone that's smarter than me at making wine and bring them in. Someone that's done it, someone that needs to know the ropes. But I have to do the work myself first. I need to understand it. I don't have to do it. I'm not going to sit up here and make wine every few months and and spend hours of my day. That's not my passion. That's not what I'm here for. That's someone else. But I need to understand it enough to show respect to the people that do. So, I'm not above washing wine glasses and putting things away and taking the trash out, and I was getting at it. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this coming up weekend and the rest of this week. Again, we're open on Wednesday. Currently it's Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 6 through the week and 1 to 6 on the weekends. We're going to look at changing the hours up. We're going to look at being able to bring in lunch and bring in dinner and just kind of shake things up a bit. Give everybody a reason to come up here. Besides coming up just if they want wine or they want beer, like come up for lunch. You may have a glass of wine or come up for dinner and hang out with your family. And there's tons of land back here. We're going to try to put some things in for kids to make it fun for them as well. We want it to be a family event, and we got to see that on Sunday on Mother's Day. Just people sitting around everywhere and just being in relationship with one another, seeing generations, 3 and 4 generations of daughters and grandmas and mothers, and them all coming here and just sharing time here. And it was so special to me because I love being around people. I love being a part of stories and being a part of their lives, and it meant a lot. It was very impactful, and my wheels won't stop turning. But I'm making sure that I'm go, 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 check in, check in, check in before we grow, grow, grow. So me and my wife are very aligned. We're tag teaming everything that we have to. We've got Crume installations going. We've got Crume roofing going. We've got the real estate stuff going. We've got the winery going. We've got the podcast going. It's a lot. It's a lot, but this is my purpose. This is who I am. And that's kind of the message of today's episode is the purpose. What is your purpose? And have you really reflected on what are you here for? Like what you were created, you were given life. Life was breathed into you, and what does that look like? I went through life for a long time doing what I thought is what I was supposed to be doing. And I wasn't wrong, but I didn't know my purpose at the time. And, through God and my experiences that I've been through, I was able to find that. And my purpose is to do this. It's to talk to people. It's to pour into people. It's to have community. It's to have relationship. It's to be a part of stories, to see the new father that's going to have a daughter, and hopefully they come back after the baby's born and just see that look in his face and in his eyes of having a daddy's girl. And, from experience, that changes you. And any of the dads out there know that it's a sacred bond. Sawyer is my boy. I love him to death. He is my buddy, but my girls are my daughters. They're my daddy's girls. And, Shelby shares a different relationship with Sawyer. That's a mama's boy. And that's just how our lives work, and that's how it's set up. And I'm sure there's differences between our lives and everyone else's lives, but for me, it was a game changer. No one teaches me more patience than my 2 daughters, and I love it. And I get makeup on, I get nails on, and I get all the stuff that the dads are supposed to get. They just did it the other day. I had one doing all kinds of crazy stuff to my hair, and then another one putting makeup on me, and I was not a good looking person when they were done, but they had a blast doing it. And it's memories that they're going to be able to take, and memories that I'm going to be able to take, and a bond that made us grow closer as father-daughter. Sawyer was actually in there, and Kinsley got a hold of him and started putting stuff on him. It lasted about 10 minutes, and he was like, I'm out. But here, I feel like I'm living in my purpose. In the installation business, being able to service people's homes, being able to be, with all of the employees and the people that work with us and meet people and travel and see people and, all of the people for our vendors at their corporate offices and all of the relationships. I've got so many relationships that I've been able to build throughout my journey. And it took me a long time to understand why that was the case. But now that I know, it makes it so much easier, and it doesn't make it less scary. It doesn't make it where I don't have to commit as much or work as hard. But man, it's so much more fun and enjoyable doing it. And I'm not spread out into all these different sectors, right? Like I'm not going to start being the guy that's behind the camera right now, like Champ is. But I want to be the guy in front of it. I want to be the guy that is talking to the baby shower or the gender reveal and the weddings. We've got a wedding coming up next weekend, and I'm really excited to be a part of that, just to see it from a different perspective and go home with any tidbit that I've picked up from that, and hopefully be able to pour a little bit into them, and then just at worst case just congratulate them. Like, congratulations, work hard, never stop working on each other and working on yourselves, and the sky's the limit. So here today, I feel like I'm continuing to push, and there's times where I'm stressed. I was exhausted last week. Wasn't getting any sleep, wasn't eating like I should be, and I was like, I have to slow down, I have to stop, I have to chill out. I went home I think it was Thursday, I went home at like 7, and I was like, I got to cut this off, I got to go home, I got to rest, I got to spend time with my family, and I can't let myself get away from who I am today and slip back into the guy that I was yesterday when I was, steamrolling the install side. So fine line and balance between the two, and making sure that I'm pouring all of the gas I need to into this business, into my other ventures, but saving that premium fuel for my family when I get home. So tonight I'll get home, I'll be able to love on the kids. I'm happy. I've been working here. I'm still a little sleepy, but I'm happy, and they get to see a happy father come through the door who's passionate about what he's doing. So, what is your purpose? And can you be sure that that is your purpose? And then why is that your purpose? My purpose doesn't involve a dollar sign. It involves people and experiences and stories. And, fortunately for me in my life, money has followed that pursuit that I'm following. And will it always do that? I hope so. But if it doesn't, it's not going to change my purpose. It's not going to change who I am. And I'm in control of making sure that happens. There's a lot of time that goes into it. And I was talking to a buddy earlier about time, and he said, it's just, time. I got to find the time. And I said, well, luckily for you, you're the creator of your own time. There's 24 hours. Everybody says, what are you doing? You need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I say, guys, there's 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of time. That's a whole lot of time as long as you're structuring it properly. If you can't get what you need to get done, get up an hour earlier. Go to bed a little bit earlier. Get the things done. If your wife and your children or your husband and your children or whoever you're with is asleep and they don't get up till 8, well, if you're up at 6, you get 2 hours of full productivity and not interrupt your relationship with them. So I am in control of the time that I have and how I use it. So if I need more time, I just need to create more time. It's not that difficult unless I tell myself it's that difficult. Then it gets super hard. So I don't have an issue with that. I'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It depends on what I need for that day, week, or season of life that I'm in. So what does purpose mean? So purpose for me is, why was I given the talents that I have, the gifts that I was born with? I've always been social. I've always been able to speak to people. I've always been, the life of the party or make people laugh. And I've leaned into that over the years, and it's helped me be successful. But I've got to make sure that I see that is a gift of mine. because it can be used. Your gifts can be used for negativity as well. You can break people down, you can hurt people, you can get into a relationship and take advantage of them. So I know that I'm good at talking to people. I know that I'm good at getting into uncomfortable situations and being able to speak freely and creating a relationship with most everybody that I'm around. Am I using that tool or that gift correctly? That's my responsibility. And as long as I feel like I'm doing it or I am doing that, things just keep progressing in the right manner. But I know that's what I'm supposed to do. My wife, without a doubt, her purpose is loving on people. Her purpose is helping people and being able to, she was a hairstylist. She still is a hairstylist. She's also on the board for cheer, and she's a coach. And she's super excited to be able to get in here and love on the brides and love on the grooms and love on the kids' birthday parties and all of the things that go around. Like, that is her purpose. She's great at it, better than anyone that I know. She can make you feel like you're the most loved person in the world in the first 20 minutes that you know her. She leans into that. What is your purpose, and are you leaning into it? And if you know your purpose, are you leaning into it fully? Are you creating the space and the time to continue to grow into your purpose and push through any adversities or distractions? We were talking earlier about distractions. When you find your purpose and you choose to go left and you're on that path, so many distractions can show up. For me, success comes with a set of different rules or distractions that can flare up at any moment. Somebody can say something sideways, or someone can say something that, they don't know my whole story. They don't know the time and the effort that I've put into things. And, they may, the must be nice phrase that I love so much, that's a distraction. Don't let it get in your head and be like, well, everybody thinks this. I struggle with these podcasts because I don't want people to think that I enjoy listening to myself talk, or that I'm a pompous human being. I'm no different than anyone else, and if anything, I don't feel like I deserve to be here, but I do feel like that I've been given gifts, and I've been given and allowed to have success, and that I need to be able to speak to, even if it's just one person, about how my mind worked throughout it, and it works today, and what I have seen coming up and through all of this. And I'm going to keep pushing and keep building to where 5 years from now, I'm going to look back and think, man, that guy 5 years ago wasn't successful, but the guy 5 years from today is, and I'm not going to stop going after that. Humbleness creates more room to succeed. It creates more room for you to internally grow, and I only can stay humble if I understand where I'm trying to get to and why I'm trying to get there. What is the passion that's pushing me, and why is it pushing me in that direction? That is my purpose. So if you are working a 9 to 5, or if you're working into a warehouse, being in a warehouse and organizing things and having structure and inventory and, the forklift and the management, that can be a purpose. Like, if you're a really meticulous person that is great at organizing and stocking things and understanding things coming in, things going out, and, this bay, that bay, I'm not great at that. I have to write things down, and I'll still forget it 110 times. But like, that is 100% a purpose and a gift that you have. There's a lot of people that aren't able to do that. They can't look at something and know what it should look like, or where it should go, or remember that it went out the door, or a customer. We've talked about, Jen being able to remember all of the orders and how she can handle so many things in her mind without forgetting the finite details that make her good at her job. That is a gift. That is a purpose. That is a purposeful gift that she can use to excel in her life through many sectors, whether it's money or relationships or being a mother or being a wife. She can lean into that purpose, and it can just get better. And then she can improve on it from there, because she knows that that's where she needs to hone in. So that's the big thing for today. Is I wanted to announce that we did it, that we're crazy, and me and Shelby bought a winery, and we are going to transform this place into something amazing. I have zero doubts in my mind that it's going to work, and it's going to work because I'm going to put in the work. and I'm going to make sure that we're giving people what they want. We're going to listen to the feedback. We're going to watch people as they're here. We're going to talk to them and ask them. We're going to ask the hard questions of like, hey, what can we improve on? What can we do better? What was we missing? Did you like the wine? Did you like the way that it was served? Did you like the staff? Did you like the atmosphere? What can we do better? Because we're already here. It's already established. It's already working. But things could always be better. And we're not afraid to get that negative comment or somebody saying something that, might hurt my feelings. They told me that because they wanted to be real. And even in a lot of the most hurtful comments, there's truth to it, in some manner. And can you find that truth? And then, like we spoke about before, are those truths true? Go through the process. Figure out, are the truths true? Am I in my purpose? Am I even where I'm supposed to be? I could take over this place and not do a great job and get negative feedback. And hey, am I sure I'm living in my purpose? Am I sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Again, that's up to me. That's an inward thing, not an outward thing. And there are mean people in the world, but more times than not, people are just being truthful in what they think is true. So there's always a little bit of truth in every comment. So I'm really excited about again, transforming the space. I got plans for this pavilion. You can see the lights and stuff behind us. There's a fire pit behind us. The sunsets, the land, the trees, the way everything kind of just was rolling fields. And I 100% wish that I knew that this was an event space. Well, actually, it wasn't an event space. I'm sorry, when I got married. So, but if it was, I would have loved to have stood right here and had this behind us getting married. So, we're going to start posting updates. I was talking to Shelby about that, maybe just doing like just clips throughout of like me and her going through the journey of owning a winery and running events and the creativity that we come up with and being able to pour into, again, our children and our marriage and the people around us. My kids, like I say, worked up here on Sunday, and my daughter and my niece was here as well. My grandmother came up. My aunt, my father, so another couple generations there. It was cool to see. And my niece and my daughter came up and they were like, "Hey, we've got an idea." And I'm like, "Okay, we need something for kids." And I'm like, "All right, what do you got? Why don't we do, you serve wine and you serve beer and you've got Cokes and Sprites and the macaroons and everything else, but the kids are just drinking like soft drinks. Like, what if we set up like a stand?" And we did stuff for kids, like if it's like grape juice and we served it in little fancy glasses, and we had some like make your own ice cream or just different things for kids. And I was like, man, that's a really, really good idea, actually. So they were like, can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? I told them, I said, hey, put together a proposal. I want you two to sit. I want you to think about it. Like, what are we going to serve? How are we going to serve it? How much are we going to charge? What does it look like? Put it together. So I'm excited. I told them, you got a week. You got 1 week to bring something back to me for me to review it and see if it's a put together plan that I think would work. And to have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old come to you with that idea just out of nowhere and want to put forth the effort and the time, it was super cool. And as much as I don't want to say it, it kind of attributes to me taking the leaps that I'm taking. They're seeing me go into something that's unknown and not being afraid. And now they're willing to just jump in and build something and try to run something and work. They're not going to go home and sit on their phones. They want to come here and they want to put in work and they want to build something. And it was another very proud moment for me. My son is all over the place. Daddy, can I go clean people's tables off? Can I do the dishes? Can I do this? Sadie's running around here and she's doing the same thing. Like, can we sweep? Can we mop? And they haven't had a huge opportunity to learn physical, work ethic at this point. I'm in the office most times. They see me do stuff around the house. I try to do as much as I can there. But as far as like this level, they haven't got to see that. But knowing that they're open to it means that me and Shelby are doing a good job. We're doing a good job of making sure that they stay grounded and they see our humbleness and our drive, and that we're not just sitting at home every weekend, or going on, trips every week, and we're still hitting the grind. We're still pushing forward, even though we don't necessarily have to. We want to because it's our passion. It is our purpose, and that is why we were put here. And I'm a true believer that when you find your purpose, if you decide to not live in it or you decide to go against it, it doesn't end well in most cases. If you are the meticulous person that chooses not to use those gifts and you become the messy person, it's going to hurt you. It's going to affect you. So once you find that, lean into it. So how do you find it? How do you find your purpose? I've got books that are used, well, they 100% are always next to me. Most everywhere I go, I got a backpack with 2 books that I carry around. They're just journals, and I scribble things in there throughout the day, throughout the night. It keeps me aligned. Any ideas that I have, and then I journal on it. And I wrote on my mirror in my bathroom a few years ago, like, what is my purpose? I was trying to figure it out. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm successful at, but like, what is my purpose? Why am I doing that? And I just left it on my mirror, and every day I'd have to see it. And I'd have to ask myself, you can't not see it when it's on the mirror where you brush your teeth. And I just kept hitting that, and I kept journaling. I'm praying. I'm doing all of the things to try to figure it out. And it was a message from God, actually, that I wrote down that says, like, you're here to talk to people. You're here to influence people. You're here to pour into people through your stories, your trials, your tribulations. All of the things that have led you up to here has made you who you are today for this reason. Now it's time to use it. Now it's time to start speaking and articulating your words in a way that people can connect with your stories, because they're all similar stories. I've given you the ability to be able to articulate how you've went through them stories and how you've gotten past the adversity or gotten past the speed bumps and pushed through the fear and pushed through all of the distractions. And that's where I landed with, like, man, I got to start this. I've got to start this podcast. I've got to just turn it on, get in front of the camera. As much as it's uncomfortable, I need to get comfortable. And I still, every time I breathe, I pray. And usually they say things are rolling. There's probably 3 or 4 minutes at least on this feed right now that's just me getting ready to say, okay, let's go. Because it's not normal for me, but I have to lean into it because I truly feel like it's my purpose. If I don't, I'm very worried that it can affect me in the long run, because I'm not living my life to my full potential for what I'm passionate about. And I've gotten really good feedback from a lot of, people, some that I know, some that are family, some people that I don't know. I've had people reach out, and it's reassuring. And, my wife's like, see, you don't realize this or you don't realize that. And I don't want to necessarily realize that. I want it to keep being uncomfortable because I want it to be real. I'm not prepping for it. I wrote like 5 things on this paper before we started, just that I wanted to hit on. And I just want to go. I just want to talk, and I want to tell you different stories and things that I went through, and tell you the things that has happened to me and the mindset change that I've made along the way to help me run smoother. I was talking to Chad. He's actually one of the guys that helps with the podcast, and we were talking about a whole bunch of things, and he's in all these different ventures. He reminds me a whole lot of myself when Crume Installations was starting to really blow up, and we were getting into this category, that category, going into these different vendors and doing all these different things until I figured out that, like, this is the lane that I'm supposed to be in. And I had Skylar tell me one time, one of the sessions that he did, go through and figure out, like, what do you make in an hour? If you make $40 an hour, if you make, if you're an entrepreneur and you're up, you make 200,000 or 500,000 a year, break that down into a 40-hour work week. And what do you make in an hour? And if you're out there mowing your grass still, and you're making $100 and something an hour, and you're an entrepreneur, pay someone to mow your grass, because your money and your time is better spent doing what you're good at, doing your passion and your purpose. So we had that conversation. I said, man, you just gotta, and he said, well, I mowed my grass. And I'm like, why are you still mowing your grass? Like, stop mowing your grass. You're not above or below it, But that's not your purpose. Your purpose isn't to go out and mow lawns. Your purpose is to set cameras up and let people tell their stories and video and take pictures at weddings and all these events to bring happiness to people. That's your purpose. Go live in your purpose, not out weed eating. And he said, man, I've never thought about it like that. I've never broken it down that finite. And he told me, he was like, you need to talk about this. It changed for me. It changed a lot. I'm a handy guy. I can do all kinds of things, although it causes me to be a procrastinator. So, if there's light fixtures that we want to change up here, and I had the electricians out looking at running some electric today. And I said, yeah, I'm going to change all these lights out. And they were like, are you going to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I can take care of that. I was like, I have to get a lift because the ceilings are really tall. And he was like, well, I have a lift. I can let you use it if you want. And I was like, well, I kind of want to go to can lights instead of these fluorescents. And he was like, yeah, I would do this and this. And it hit me again. Like, hey, what are you here for? What are you doing? He's great at this. This is his trade. This is his passion. This is his gift. And I said, hey man, why don't I just order the fans that I want and the special lighting that I want, and then you supply the can lights and you just take care of it. Like, because you're going to do it way faster than me. You're probably going to do it better than me. I don't like to admit that, but they probably will. They're super meticulous about their job. I love their work. And I just had to let go of that. I had to let go of that so that I could do what I'm here for. So that I could go into the next room and start figuring out, what do I need to get done here? Who do I need to bring in? Who do I need to have help me? Who do I need to have look at this that knows more than me? And just keep redesigning that space, because I could drag this thing out for the next 10, 15 years, right? I could try to do all the fans and all the lights and paint and do the floor. I can do every bit of that. I've done it my entire life. Or I could swallow a little bit of my pride, ask for help, bring people in that do this every single day for a living, that's passionate about it, and then that allows me to live in my purpose more. It allows me to fast track what I'm trying to do. I'm going to make a little bit less money, but I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be pissed. I know I'll be on the lift. I'll leave the drill down on the ground, or I'll have a screwdriver or a freaking wire nut, something not up there with me, and I'll be having to get back down, and then I'll do it again, or something will happen. That's just how it works for me. And it's going to frustrate me. It's going to make me upset. And then I'm going to go home. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be sore, and I'm going to be frustrated. And that's the version that I'm going to take home to save a few $100. I'm going to spend a few $100 so that when I get home, happy dad, passionate dad who's living in his purpose, shows up for my family. Because doing that allows my kids to go, Daddy, let's start something for the kids here. Let me build something. Let me grow something. Let them start exploring their purpose, their passion, their path. And they're turning left because they don't have to do anything. They can go home. They can get on their iPhones. They got Wi-Fi. They can run around. They can take naps back there on the couch. They can do whatever they want. They can turn right. And it's easy. They want to turn left. They're 9 and 12 years old and 15-year-old, my niece, and they're already starting to turn left, and I get to see that. I get to be a part of that. And man, if they're doing it that young, they're going to make me look like the dumbest guy in the world by the time they're my age, and I am excited for it. And I'm going to continue to turn left for them. I'm going to continue to pursue my passion. I'm going to continue to live in my purpose, and I'm going to continue to show them that you can be afraid, but don't let it stop you. Go into something that you've never done before. Be crazy, be curious, be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I get to watch them do it bigger, better, faster, and stronger than I could, because they're already doing it decades before I was able to. So I'll continue to push that. My wife is in here. She's involved. She's going to break me before it's all said and done because she's wanting to get it done, I think, faster than I am, which is cool because she gets to love on people here. She sees herself loving on people, and if she can make the space nicer for the bride or the groom or the high school reunion, hey, somebody's Bullet Central is doing a high school reunion here. I think it's like a 20-year or something. She's going to want to make it great, because she knows that these people are coming from an old relationship that are probably still valuable in a lot of ways, but a lot of people that have fallen off over the last, couple decades, And they're gonna come back together here. She's gonna want to make that very special for them. She's gonna want to be able to love on them, and she can love on them through the experience of coming here. She's dedicated. She's in, and I'm kind of afraid that she's going to work harder than I am, and the roles might get reversed a little bit here. But I'm also excited to watch her be able to live in her purpose, and this is going to allow her to do that. Keep telling yourself there's 24 hours in a day. You only need, 6 to 8 hours of sleep? Structure it right. It doesn't mean go out and work to death until you have a heart attack. It means make sure you see that the hours are available to you for you to use them how you see fit. If you're working a job, that's 8 hours, right? We're at 16 hours between sleep and work. You've still got time left to love on your family, to determine your purpose, to explore a new adventure, to push past the fear, and to pour into others. That's a lot of time left in the day, and you get that 7 days a week, 365 days a year. One day, it's gonna be our end. And I want my ending to be, man, he lived every day to the fullest, and he wasn't afraid to push through, and now we get to see his kids do the same thing, but better. So that's all I have for you guys today. We're gonna do another one out here soon. I'm going to start shooting little clips and different videos and pictures and posting it. Hopefully you guys want to see that, of just the changes and the rapid. It's going to be rapid changes. We've already done a ton here. We've got a bunch of new equipment that's ordered that's coming in. Hopefully you'll be able to meet the employees that work here and kind of get their feel for how it's going to go. I talked to both of them. All three of them, I'm sorry, that's worked so far. There's a couple of them that are working next week or this weekend. And I told them, I was like, hey, listen, I kind of need to know if you're on board. Like, I'm going to shake it up here, and it's going to happen quick, and we're going to come in, and we're coming in fast, and we're coming strong, but I want to understand what I'm doing before I disrupt it. But as you say you need something, it's going to happen if it's a true need. And we've already ordered a whole bunch of stuff, and they're on cloud 9. So we're going to keep doing that with them. We're going to keep building relationships with them because they still don't know us. They know us, but they don't know us. So I'm really excited for, a few months from now for them to be like, okay, this wasn't the new car smell or the honeymoon phase, that this is who we are. And when we dedicate ourselves to something, if I'm flipping the burger, I'm flipping it better than anyone else in the restaurant. If I own a winery, I'm going to have the best winery that anyone's ever seen. Not because I want to be better, but because I want to do better. I want people to be able to have more when they show up to MillaNova Winery. So keep watching for us. Keep looking for all the clips and the pictures and follow our journey. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the CrumeCast podcast. We're excited to continue to share our story with you. Our new guests that are coming on have a lot more to tell. You've got a lot more to learn. So we really hope that you keep tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a blessed day.